What are chord extensions? What does it mean when people say play a ninth or a 13th or a 7th, etc.? Well, they're nothing complicated. They are just extensions, as the name implies. They are extensions or additions to root or triad chords. Let me show you what I mean. There's so many variations and nuances to building chord extensions, but we're just going to stick to the basic principles and keep it really, really simple and straightforward, which, trust me, is more than enough for you to start sounding absolutely amazing on the piano as a beginner. So let's start on a key of C, as usual. So that's a C major scale. And remember, that's our root, C, E, G. And we talked about the 7th in our earlier lessons. So if that's the root, remember we added this to make it a C major 7th. And that's an extension, because it's an extension of this C triad. So C, we go by thirds. Second, third, that's the E. To that one, second, third, that's the G. So if we're going to add a 7th, second and third. So that's a C major 7th. Okay, and that's an extension chord. So there is the 7th. And it's called a C major 7th. The C major 9th is also pretty simple. So we've got the root, which is a triad, C, the 7th. And guess what? That's the 9th. So because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the 7th chord. That's the 8th chord, even though we're back to 1. But we call it, in terms of extensions, we name it 8. And then that's the 9th. So that's the 9th extension on the C key, on the C major scale. And it's that simple. We keep adding thirds. So C, 2, 3, 2, 3. There's a 5th, which makes the root chord, 2, 3. That's the C major 7th. That's an extension, chord extension. And 2, 3, there's a 9th. So that, yes, you guessed right, will be 11th, and that will be 13th. So these are all chord extensions for the C major triad chord. And there are many ways to voice these chord extensions. Let's take the 7th, for example. So we've got our 7th right there. Okay. And for our left hand, we can do like that. What we're going to do with our left hand, we could play an inversion. Now, to make it even sound more colorful, we could do that. So we've left some notes out. So we can leave that out, which is the 3rd, so that we don't let it get clogged up down here. When you're playing the left hand and you're playing too many notes, it doesn't sound really nice. So just play maximum 2. If at all you need to play 3, but I'll stick to 1 or 2. So like that, 2 or 3. And I'll do an arpeggio rather than playing the 3 together most times. So that's the 7th. That sounds nice because we've done, that's the triad, and we've just played that 7th there. So we've removed the 3rd, not to get clogged up down here, and played the 7th and the other keys on the C chord. So rather than playing a root there, we play the 7th, which is that one. See how it sounds? Much different from just playing the triads. You're beginning to sound more professional. For the 9th, I could voice it like this. It looks a bit strange when I play these 3 together, but it sounds nice. And I can alternate between the 7th. It's just a chord progression. And then the 9th. So it is the 9th because that's the C chord. I've just left that out. That's also the C chord. And that's the 9th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th. So I'm playing the C chord and adding the 9th, and I'm playing them together. So and this is the 1, 6, 2, 5 chord progression. For the 11th, which is that chord there, I could voice it like this. And what have I done? That's the C chord. That's the 11th that I need to add. So rather than playing everything here, making it all clogged up, I could play an octave there, allow some space, and play the 11th. And I could just play that or that. Now I've added the 9th and 11th. So there are no hard and fast rules how you want to voice these chord extensions. It's just up to you having them in your kit box and deciding how you want to use them. For the 13th, so that's the 13th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th, which is also the 6th, because it's a chord extension, we can play that and we say we've just added a 6th. But if it's a true chord extensions, we are stacking up these extensions, and that's why it's called the 13th up here. So we can decide to leave some notes and just play that. This sounds good too. And what have I done there? So that's a C. I've left that out with a 7th and the 9th. I've decided to play, that's part of the C chord, but I've decided to play that as well. And the 13th. And that's how you can experiment with different ways to add your chord extensions just to flavor your chords. With that, trust me, you start sounding not as a beginner anymore. It's very different from just playing these are just triad chords. But when you start adding voicings like and arpeggios, inversions, and you start adding chord extensions, 7th, 9th, what did I do there? So that's a a 7th, and an 11th. I'll show you quickly the C minor chord. That's the C minor chord. C, E flat, and G. And that's the 7th. And that's the 9th. And that's the 11th. And they are all thirds apart. From here, so 3, and then, so that's the 7th, 9th, 11th. The 7th is the B flat, the 9th is the D, and the 11th is the F. And you can stack it the way you want. Inversions. Inversions. But what do we have here? That's the 9th. Everything else is a C minor chord. See? That and that. I just left that out to play that, and I continued with that, and I added that. But can you hear how good it sounds? This is used a lot in jazz pieces. In upcoming lessons, we're going to take a closer look at how you can use these chord extensions in detail and apply them to your favorite songs and make them sound so rich and professional.